play that duo. The reason why I'm a bit skeptical is that I think Zilean is really bad in 5v5s against AoE, and there's a lot of AoE to respect on the side of Kingzone. It'll probably be AP Cannon with the other tools that are around. But before that ever happens, this draft is kind of in an interesting spot because you have Vlad for late and then Kindred Zilean for early, and you could think of about it as bridging, but when the late game comes in, the AoE lockdown that can come out will make it hard to execute. So I'm looking for mid-jungle to get DAMWON Gaming over the line to stop the 3-0 for Kingzone DragonX.
Yeah, we have to remember so much momentum is now in the hands of Kingzone, moving into game number 3 here on this best of 5 day. It could be a very early one. We'll see whether DAMWON Gaming behind the Vladimir from Noguri can extend it for us. DAMWON fans in full voice. We'll see whether they will be happy after this game concludes. Deft going to draw first blood as far as damage. Lands that Ardent Blaze quite nicely under Nuclear. DAMWON are just setting themselves up around this map.
We have some of our suspicions confirmed. It is AP Cannon because it's not going to be press the attacks, so any other rune choice is going to be AP. So
yep,
AP it
double
is.
Klepto topside as well, actually.
You're right. Everyone's trying to profit. Bit bold to go Klepto Vladimir into Cannon. That is a pretty good matchup versus Cannon. That does at many different breakpoints do well in this matchup, but when I've seen the matchup happen more often in the LPL, actually Cannon's been doing better than I would have anticipated.
Yeah, I think Zoom yesterday had a fantastic Cannon versus Vladimir game.
It is a classic Vlad favorite matchup, but obviously a lot of things have changed in terms of runes and little things in the game, even if Cannon and Vlad's kits are largely the same. So I'm always willing to give the benefit of the doubt to recent performance, and Vlad hasn't been hitting the marks he often did in the Cannon matchup previously.
Yeah, and I told a little bit of a lie. I think it was the Jace matchup with the Cannon, but still is a difficult one. And the Cannon was doing okay, so we'll see whether Rascal's going to be able to do the same, continue his form. On this pickup, he's actually been playing very, very well on this Cannon. Only 3 games so far, but 100% win rate with a 6.4 KDA is nothing to scoff at.
And ever since we saw Jensen and Blabber pop off on the Zilean Kindred, I believe we've never had it in the LCK. It's a duo that has very obvious inherent value because Kindred never has to use her auto attack counters or Q for anything other than damage because she has the Zilean speed up to always be in the face of the enemy, and if she's always auto attacking, you're probably dying. Does get the mark that was almost too close for comfort.
That was so close to the Prey Seeker from Cuz.
But can Showmaker pack up and find roam timings to take down the Cannon and to get this game going?
Well, right now they've got mirrored runes, just some biscuits being opted into here from Noguri, and instead Rascal has gone for the minion dematerializer. See how this Vladimir Cannon matchup is going to go. Those early trades are actually going to go in favor of the Vladimir if he can just sit in lane and transfuse minions, because Rascal's health pool takes a little bit more of a hit.
Us invading. Actually, it's level 3.
Yeah, he's going to find the Kindred Canyon. Waiting for the Dance of Arrows. The flash in, Cuz. Oh no! Red buff is going to wear off, and Canyon will survive for now. And in fact, no red buff yet to be picked up. Now Kingzone looking for a potential dive. That's a teleport coming from the Lysandra. They're starting this one so early. Huge knock up onto Hoyters. Tucson has to flash, and he's going to go down. It's a botched dive and maybe an overconfident Kingzone here in game 3.
Hoyt was able to pop the aftershock, so doesn't die fast enough. Kingzone DragonX, they're trying to send us home early. 7:30, but it's a big fight back moment for DAMWON. Yes, they lose flash on Kindred, which is not ideal, and Kindred's jungle clear is going to be way slower than you'd imagine with a champion who rips through the jungle. But importantly, DAMWON Gaming don't actually fall in the bot lane. You need to deny aftershock to actually kill, but the headbutt burst is so important. It buys space from Tucson. Tucson goes down, so Tucson not fully in control of his faculties, and the aftershock from Hoyt means that the cow survives.
Yeah, and as that last turret shot came in, I believe the aftershock also wore off. Is now Deft going 1v2 very confidently here. On the bottom side, he hasn't used his teleport yet, hasn't headed back home, and now Nuclear is going to go back and will teleport into this lane. So now with the 1 assist, feeling pretty happy as the Kaiser.
One of the things I admired the most about DAMWON's victory last time out, or just in general, the recent series we saw against DAMWON and Sandbox, is teams getting better at baiting or playing around aftershock champions. It's basically all games, right? You always see some combination, Sandra, Galio, sometimes Alistair when it comes to Korea at least. And there were a lot of fights where Joker would overrate his tankiness because he thought he had Aftershock up, and they just would never step into range and take him down. Same with Lissandra and Ring of Frost. So in that case, they don't actually bait things correctly. Aftershock procs, and well, right now, that's GG.
Yeah, and you can see Rascal last hitting very comfortably here up against Noguri. Hasn't been able to proc too much of the Klepto. Noguri also, with all this pressure that Rascal is putting on, hasn't been able to get too many auto attacks weaved through, but a red pot now for Rascal is going to be pretty good here in this lane. Doesn't find the Shuriken though.
Going to be a lot of fun timings to evaluate as games go on, because think about Vlad and Kindred ult. Going to be a lot of packing in there with Cannon and Lissandra joining, as well as a lot of negative synergies possible.
Thankfully for Kingzone fans, priority was for the bottom lane, and Canyon wasn't allowed to go aggressive against Cuz as he tunnels in to the Dragon Pit to find a Kindred.
As an item lead as well, Cuz actually hasn't backed yet. Still been on the map, and it's to a camp and one Ruin camp's advantage for the Rex side. Could have been a jungle CS, lane CS as well. So watching this one though, we're waiting to see. Remember, Zilean has also gone utility in the Keystone. Kind of expected that you would go Glacial Augment, but waiting to see Zilean plus Kindred. So far nothing is top lane. Trade's pretty even.
Yeah, some aggressiveness there from Rascal.
Here's Canyon.
Yep, he's going to head towards the bottom side of the map. Can Tucson actually get out? That's a great body block there from Hoyt, who wants to be able to get the trample proc. It's a decent double taunt, but not enough to save the Galio. As now Kingzone are looking for this teleport play. Cannon wants to find his way in as Canyon gets the Dance of Arrows, but the headbutt's good. Hoyt might sacrifice himself, and Rascal is going to get that kill. 1-for-1 with teleport invested from Kingzone.
And also the time of the top lane, who now has to full reset again. So that's actually a big cost, as Vladimir will get a shop that's much cleaner than you would expect for Vlad pre-level 7, pre-level 9. So yes, it is overall 1-for-1, but it's teleport down and minions dying to the turret. That's Vladimir getting going, and yeah, if Noguri it's late game, doesn't really matter what we said about kind of Zilean and Kindred having some interesting late game opportunities. Sometimes Vlad just wins a game straight up.
Yeah, he does, and now he's got his double CDR items, even a cheeky extra book there in the Amp Tome, and will teleport into this lane to continue having maximum pressure. It's real scary. You look at the scoreline, you're like 1-0. Oh, the Cannon must be in great shape, but that's not how this feels. As Noguri now has him underneath his turret. A whole lot of control now to DAMWON, top side of the map. As Nuclear is in a hell of a lot of trouble. That's a pretty good taunt, and that's an easy kill. Just not sure what Nuclear was doing there.
That seems really, really poor timing, because Alistair's roam was spotted on a control wall that he cleared topside. So both sides know that they know Alistair's not there. So you should never be that far up the wall. I didn't see the mini-map and how the angles came together, but they came together in not a great way for Nuclear. Heal not enough, and that's just a freebie for Kingzone DragonX.
Yep, all too easy. Things were going well for DAMWON over the rest of the map, but you can see now the gold slightly in favor of Kingzone DragonX, and they should have control of this dragon as well if they'd like to go there. Denying an Infernal Drake from this DAMWON composition is going to be absolutely huge, because if Kaiser and Vladimir make it to a late game with a few Infernal Drakes behind them, that's real scary. Also
stealing away a blue buff from the Zilean is pretty relevant. We're going to see the replay. I mean, Tucson had already presented himself, right? Nuclear just goes for, and tries to clear the most conspicuous control wall, which wasn't in the brush, by the way, and just died. That's what we call a game 3. We're down 0-2 pressure mistake. He had all the information atlas, and he stuffed it up.
Yeah, I think he may have toggled champions as far as vision was concerned. I just don't know how you make that error.
That's a 200 IQ bad ward.
Yeah, that's it's real bad. As Deft, he's going to throw out the culling. Nuclear takes most of that damage. Good headbutt, but it does mean that Hoyt is going to get taunted up. Aftershock procs. Ultimate is already down. And Showmaker had to use the cleanse very early on and almost died to Pong.
Hoyt might be having the best Alistair game in a while. Yeah. So far he's done everything perfectly, but sadly...
At least the only one on the team not tilted, Papa Smithy.
Oh, yeah. He comes in and he's feeling okay. Come on, I think Melvin will be fine as things go on. But the mental effects of DAMWON Gaming, having players who are all rookies to postseason competition in Korea. That's right, Nuclear never played postseason when he played in Korea. Is something that we haven't really talked about, because they came off a victory because they were better than Sandbox, who would have come in marginal favorites in the first series of the playoffs. But down 2-0, that's where the mentality is always going to be stretched the furthest. Not seen on the top side, but maybe being seen on bottom.
Well, teleport's going to come in here from Pawn just to try and take down this Infernal Drake. 4 members of Kingzone hanging around the area. They should comfortably grab this with all the priority they have bottom side of the map. We're about to tick up to 10 minutes into the game, so Shelly could be a transition here from Kingzone. They're not going to trade it immediately. Nogari's still pushing in here on the top side. Only 6 CS is going to be the advantage, but it does mean that DAMWON have control of top side, and Shelly should go to them if they want it.
Awesome ward around the Rift Scuttle. You might say, what the hell, why was it almost expired 3-10 minutes? That ward is for the Zilean Kindred turret dive roam top lane. It's not spotted by a standard control ward in the Pixel Brush, and it's providing way more safety for Kennen than the aggressive control ward you see from Vlad provides. In fact, he will always know when Zilean roams topside with that ward spot. Really nicely done, and it's one that's very needed against leave mid lane, utility mid laners, and a Kindred.
Well, now you've got Cuz going back. Warrior Enchant is completed. Canyon doesn't have his Devourer yet. So this could be an opportunity for Kingzone to actually keep the pressure on and try to take down the Rift Herald. You can see Deft playing pretty conservatively here on the bottom side as Hoyt clears out that control ward. That's because the Galio had got the roam on and they've cleared out all of that vision, and now it's about Kingzone having control and getting roam priority on top side.
And if you just farm as Zilean Kindred, you lose the synergy this duo provides. Because during the laning phase, when turrets are up, when it's never 5v5 at all moments, the Zilean and Kindred outnumber and also have more tools that are hard to interact with. So if they're just farming it out, you lose a lot of the luster that the duo provides.
Yeah, we'll see whether it's going to be something that can work in the late game as well, because we know that Vladimir wants to get their nuclear on this. Kai'Sa wants to get there as well.
The key word there is can. Of course it can work, but it's strongest now. It's strongest when you should be getting free roams, turret dives, objectives. They've got an objective disadvantage, even though they've got a duo that's most unanswerable when you can't just on command clap your hands and have 10 people on the screen. And that's where you're like, this is already not going to plan.
And also, team fights with a Kindred against this Kingzone composition are going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Because Lamb's Respite gets countered pretty hard by the heroic entrance, and slicing Maelstrom on top as that wears off with everyone at low health feels like a smorgasbord for the cannon.
And it's cleanse Zilean, and you might have to cleanse flash out and then be out of range of your ult as well. So Rift Herald down, and Showmaker speaking of cleanse.
Yep, another cleanse is now going to be on cooldown as Cuz is looking to take down Shelly. Rascal's going to come in from the backline, but will be here relatively late. Cuz does pick that one up as Hemo Plague. Not going to get too much value. Great triple knock up there from Hoyt as he dives on in. Lamb's Respite now getting value onto Canyon. But now Rascal's going to have to flash out. Deft very, very low, but will still pick up that kill as Pawn doesn't follow the claw. Hoyt will get taken down as Nuclear finally turns up. Hoyt gets out of there, but Nuclear's not going to get any value. It just dies. Oh no, it's a disaster for DAMWON fans, as it just feels like they don't have enough damage here at this stage of the game.
No more further kills, but it does feel like one of those final nails in the coffin for DAMWON this series. Nuclear gets there late and dies, like you mentioned, Summoner down from earlier infractions, and Kingzone out teamfight them. Like we mentioned, you might have nice tools early, but putting them together for DAMWON is actually kind of tricky when there's AoE CC threat on the enemy team. It's the same story when you think about Kayle as a champion in teamfights. Against AoE, she struggles. Against predictable burst on one member, she's easy to execute. Kingzone are smart. They leave the back of the Shelly exposed till the end and burst it down, so no possible steal. And you watch the fight. Canyon does get good value out of his ult, but after the dust settles, no further threat onto Deft. He doesn't die, and then sadly, the dominoes are only 1 by 1 for DAMWON game.
Yeah, exactly, and Nuclear's very late to this fight, and you think that maybe full health he's going to be able to get some work done, but that's just in time for Tucson to have that taunt back off cooldown. You can see it's an understandable reaction here from the Kingzone crew, but they're going to be really comfortable because this is a game 3 where they've already got 2 wins on the board.
Target selection wasn't good enough to get that first kill, and one spill of damage further on to Deft, and maybe you go 3 for 2 down. But you were always trading down there, Atlas, and that's kind of already something that was either going to be an issue or a big problem. And sadly, we're more on the big problem side of things. Looking at the damage numbers, as you can see, big splashes of damage from Kindred, Vlad, and Zilean, but it just couldn't take enough members down to DAMWON.
Well, Canyon now looking for Tucson. Pawn's going to come on over. Cuz is here as well. Tucson, no flash available, so that taunt wasn't going to be too dangerous. But Kingzone just often have enough members on the map at the right places to stop anything from what DAMWON are throwing at them. Deft losing out on a bit of a trade here, bottom side of the map against Nuclear, and he has gone for the Essence Reaver build that he was popularizing earlier on. Hoyt, very early ultimate, good double knock up there, but it's a lot of burly boys having some fighting here on the bottom side. Nuclear not actually offering any help to Hoyt there.
Nothing much he could do, and Hoyt played it perfectly and actually is half health after a couple of slaps on minions. So, once again, well played to him. Definitely DWG's MVP so far, but Kingzone team effort. Look at that TP spot!
Yeah, that's an aggressive teleport here as everyone's going to surround the cannon. Slicing Maelstrom does come in as Hoyt falls down. Rascal, they knew exactly what was happening. That's a good stopwatch, but I don't think it's going to save the life of Canyon. Sorry, it was the chrono shift. Canyon now trying to turn it onto Rascal. That's the flash lightning rush. Is it going to be enough? Lamb's Respite counters the Void Rush here from Cuz's Kingzone. Deal with the Vladimir on the back line. The bomb is doing some good zoning from Deft, but Kindred is still going to fall down, and Showmaker loses all his friends with only a reward in a kill on the Rek'Sai to follow it up.
But DWG Gaming, they're chasing the loss, they're going further in the hole. They're doubling down when the cards aren't going their way, and it feels like Kingzone, if this is a poker game, they've got the whole cam. They can see the cards the enemy has, and they're always ahead of the play. They split away Nogari, and Tucson was able to just keep alive his threat and actually not even need the ultimate to reposition. So sadly, DWG Gaming being played like marionettes by Kingzone DragonX.
Yeah, and this looked like it was going to be a botched teleport surrounded by 3 people, but it's an AP cannon who's got a bunch of kills. Just insta-pops the Alistar.
Cillian has flash but no cleanse and has to choose his target. There's so much to think about, an AoE crowd control, and only gets to use it after the fact. Gets very little value out of it too, Atlas. So, yep. They're definitely accelerating their own demise here. It doesn't end up being without any people going down. The casualty is sadly Cuz, who has the ignominy of the bomb ticking. Here's the Drake.
Yeah, another fight. That's going to be a steal from Cuz. He gets it with an auto attack after his smite somehow. He will get taken down, but the Dragon does go to Kingzone. Now Pawn, trying to keep himself alive, has the ultimate. That's a hero's entrance to write home about. Gets the knock up. That's a very dead Kindred. No Lamb's Respite. This time around, double kill for Deft as he's in the back line. And now Rascal, he's peeling for the AD carry. And Deft keeps himself alive. Showmaker gets baited forward as Deft just dashes over the wall. There's even a stopwatch to keep Pawn alive. And they're just playing so good this day, man. It's so strong from Kingzone DragonX.
That was unbelievable team fighting from Kingzone that can only really be fully understood with a slow motion replay. The fact that they live on, so this again plays into the target selection we talked about earlier, but they're really outperforming DWG Gaming. Unbelievable play from Kingzone.
That was just magical. 5,000 gold, 6,000 gold, now the lead as we have a look at the replay.
Let's talk about target selection. It's a bit of a buzzword we talked about first. Now, before that comes in, well, the last Q gets it. Nice steal from Cuz. But what I want you to watch is how they deal with Nogari, who looks at this fight and is probably like licking his lips saying, oh, the AoE is going to be the big winner here. First, they buy space. Nogari on the bot side, he just wants to keep Deft out of the fight, but everyone from Kingzone turns onto Nogari and bursts him down. Instead of dealing with Nuclear, they don't call Kai'Sa, they call Vladimir, and on the back end, Showmaker has to flash in to try to ult Nogari, doesn't get there, so his flash is wasted. We talked about how execution is. Their execution from Kingzone is next level, and the execution from DWG, understandably 2-0 down, is letting them down.
Yeah, and able to just sneak around these fights so nicely, and Tucson saying, I'm the god of team fights.
I think that could just be the whole of Kingzone, so Tucson's got the correct words. Maybe could just further them and spread them around to his team. Another Essence Revolution game coming through from Deft. He's a favorite. He doesn't have a lot of physical damage on his team, and Rek'Sai is going to build that cleaver anyway, so you can probably afford to go for other build paths. He's a little bit squishier, but good news, he does more damage.
He does, and also the 3-item power spike is disgusting. With this particular build, currently he's over 2,000 gold ahead.
Gold leads are pretty disgusting.
Oh yeah, it is filthy. Even on the top side, 1,000 gold, double Infernal, so that's only going to add to that one. As the Lamb's Respite button was found there by Canyon, but the taunt does land. He's going to go down. It's the chrono shift that's going to be in there from Showmaker. It's now Hoyt. He's just getting kited. Pawn throws out the ultimate. One more auto would have done it as Hoyt is going to limp away. And now Nogari gets dashed at by Deft.
And that was 5v4. Kennen couldn't get there. It was TP advantage from Nogari. But Nogari just ends up with a defensive teleport after all. They might even look for a pick on the back end.
Yep, that's going to be the flash in. Instant kill. Rascal's going to be able to pick that one up now that he's turned up to the fight. Congratulations, Rascal, you made it. And they're able to get the pick on the AD carry. Pawn is just clearing out vision to make sure they have inside track towards top side. But Kingzone might just want to break open the base right here.
I think they're going to Atlas going to try to. The minion wave dies, but honestly, it really feels like, you know, whenever you talk to parents, they always say that they grew up so fast, you don't even notice it.
Yep.
Kingzone DragonX grew up in front of our eyes in the second round robin, going 8-1.
Yep.
Only playing one 3-game series, but we only noticed at the end when they were actually kicking over Griffin in the final match. We missed something special because the performance here, yes, DAMWON Gaming has been a bit off the pace, but the best from DAMWON, which they tried to put in game number 1 and 2, wasn't enough, and then we have moments like this where Kingzone are just absolutely bulldozing through them in game number 3.
And how is Rascal doing this? In a matchup against Noguri, yes, Kingzone have found lots of victories against DAMWON Gaming so far this season, but I just find it completely insane that Rascal has gone from being a passenger and a liability to being a legitimate carry. His Akali game in game number 2 is fantastic, and now he's proving that yet again he can have great performances on the cannon.
Kuz is one level above the enemy AD carry, so it's looking to try to solo him. That might have been silly.
Yeah, maybe. The last auto attack's going to come in there as Rascal takes his time, helping out. Toosin can adjust his punch to get himself out of here. Noguri's still relatively scary. Spellbinder is in his back pocket. Has himself all of the CDR that he would like.
Rascal's a player that always impressed me because what does it say that when you're behind Khan, and obviously won't play a lot on Kingzone DragonX, that you're a player as a, you know, close to rookie, as Jason on Toosin, that you can sub in game 4, 5 of a best of 5 and be praised for having good mentality as a rookie player. That's really impressive, intangible to have as a pro player. A young rookie who can be clutch. And Rascal always had something about him, but just didn't have much chance to play. Khan is a really good player.
Kuz was also an example of that, right?
And having those intangibles means you've got a lot around you. Speaking of a lot around you, Hoyt's trying his best.
Yeah, very early Lambs of Spite once again here from Canyon. The culling is eaten by that particular ultimate. That's good news here for Kingzone as the bombs are going to do some damage here to Deft, who doesn't have any lifesteal in the build just yet. I think Lifeline has been picked up but hasn't been stacked too much, as another Infernal has spawned. Pawn looking for a blue buff, isn't going to be gifted with one, as now Kuz has started this up. Rascal has found DAMWON, headbutt pole comes in. Banshee's Veil not going to be enough. Hero's entrance comes down, slicing Maelstrom right onto Nuclear as the dragon does fall. In the backline, Rascal takes down the Kaiser and flashes away. Noguri has to use his flash to get on over, but DAMWON, they're losing everyone on their frontline. Showmaker gets obliterated, Noguri as well, and Deft and Pawn do too much damage. Every team fight is just on a silver platter for this team.
But it's so exquisite in the execution. They're so good at playing them, Atlas, even though the tools are new. We don't see any Cillian Kindred in the LCK. Kingzone had the ward that was smart against the duo. There was never any roams from the team, and when the team fights come in, they're just on another level.
Yeah, this is like watching the SKT where we wanted to break down the ultra slow motion team fights because the finesse was so beautiful to watch. And now we may actually have Kingzone DragonX versus SKT for our second round in 2 days' time. And that matchup has all of a sudden got way more spicy.
It felt like it would just be the token matchup before the SKT Griffin series that people have wanted since the rosters were announced, Atlas. But then you see moments like this where Rascal's going into his role. The team is playing as a 5. Their drafting can be on another level. And yes, DAMWON Gaming, you could be glass half empty and talk about them, but I want to talk about Kingzone today because they have been really, really impressive. And I'm hopeful now that they can actually force an amazing series out of SKT. If the best team wins out of today's Kingzone and SKT that we've seen all season, it's going to be a barn burner.
Absolutely will, as Canyon didn't even want to try and get a cheeky auto onto Rascal, and he's now looking to go back. That is just the state of this game right now. Vision is certainly available here from Kingzone as the spooky ghosts spot them on the side of DAMWON. Noguri's looking to take down a red buff because he may as well, just to avoid that one getting stolen away. Any time in the jungle is time stolen when it comes to DAMWON. Kingzone have run of the map in a turret now. Going to be taken. The Baron, of course, went after that ensuing team fight while we were watching the replay. An easy pickup here for Kingzone as they look to just remove the rest of the turrets from this map and extend this gold lead that's already above 10k even further.
It's 11k with 30% efficiency from Infernal, so it's basically getting up to 15k plus easily. on the side of Kingzone. That's not even including the stats the Baron provides. For 2 minutes, you might as well think of it as 2 champions from DAMWON being equivalent to 1 from Kingzone. And honestly, I'm willing to be pretty loose about which 2 you pick. You can pick as you like. Pick of the litter, and you're still losing to KingZone DragonX.
Yep, this is just looking way too scary here at this point. Rascal picks up a bomb. He doesn't care. As Deft throws out the culling, and it's starting to really hurt. Not sure what the items are saying just yet, but I think the IE was pretty close after the last reset. Pawn, he's split pushing in the mid lane, gets half the health bar. As now it looks like Noguri was trying to go aggressive, but the claw is going to be there. Circle of Frost is also going to be available. And Redemption will keep the Kingzone push alive as they try and shove these Baroned up minions in towards the turrets. And finally, they break open this base. DAMWON are just bleeding health bars. It's looking so difficult here as Nuclear just almost gets burst to death instantly from Deft's damage.
And that's the Lucian high damage build. He's gone in. You see the sick burst that Lucian's not thought of. He should be shredding resist, not shredding health bars. Yeah. He does it effortlessly. With that, they take down their first inhib. They used a Redemption because they still had multiple minion waves on the way before the Baron is done. The next one's the last one, but feels like the last laugh will only be Kingzone.
Yep, teleport to come in here. That gets Lissandra towards the top side. Noguri very early on the Sanguine pull to try and get himself out of there. He's just trying to deal with minions, but with the Baron buff, it's too difficult. Rascal gets in, gets a cheeky auto attack, and they keep this siege minion alive as the turret falls down. It should be 2 inhibitors. And Kingzone staring down the barrel of a very impressive 3-0 victory here in the round 1 of playoffs. The gauntlet run was looking good as now the final engagement. Lamb's Respite very early once again, but that's a great heroic entrance as Hoyt uses his ultimate and he's going to keep himself alive. Deft, he's going to fall down. Rascal in the backline as well, but Cuz has a lot of damage. Pawn still has a lot of damage, but there's still more members of DAMWON left alive. Pawn is trying to run them around this rift.
Can he get this one as well?
Yep, Cuz comes on over and just cleans it up. Pawn says, all right, we lost a couple of our carries. It's okay, I'm still here, I can carry this team fight.
Pawn can even impress us in the Lissandra. He's a magician on the LeBlanc, and he does it on Lissandra as well. They might just end the game here.
Yeah, it was a little bit of Kingzone smacking them with their wallets, but still looking to be a victory for Kingzone DragonX. There were some moments where we caught our breath. Nuclear getting those couple of kills was definitely nice. And it won't be the end of the game, but still a lot of damage done here from Kingzone.
And this is finally DAMWON's AoE being coordinated. Hoyt, bless his heart, been awesome on the after this game. Comes in, says I should have been starting from game number 1, and well, based on this sample size, feeling pretty good. It's so hard to use your AoE tools when you have the potential negative synergy going on there, but they still largely get over the line. They kill the Alpaca, which is the important one to begin the fight. It doesn't end up being clean. Pawn was really nice with the fadeaway EQ use there. That was really nicely done. Cuz comes back because it's a full 5-man team these days. They can't end the game, but tell that to DAMWON Gaming.
Yeah, and another Mountain Drake just to come in, if you don't mind. 5 minutes until the next one's there, and 22 stacks. On the Magi's shows, Soul Stealer shows just how good Pawn has been playing today. 7-0-9. He has the 1,000 gold bounty because, of course, guys, that has been changed. 700 is the maximum that you can have at any one time, and I have a feeling they're going to need to kill him 3 times or something like that to get rid of the bounty.
If you tell me he's the Terminator and walked in from 2014 today, I believe you, Atlas. He was good on EDG, but he wasn't as good as he's been very recently.
Oh, yeah.
He's been popping off as a solo, and he's got a great cast around him. So congratulations. Great to see Pawn in this form. One of the old favorites comes back. And now we're just waiting for them to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Yep, Hoyt takes half of his health bar, but thankfully does keep himself alive. No ultimate needed. As Kingzone will push these minion waves forward, this inhibitor will inevitably fall down. As DAMWON just want to find another heroic team fight. I don't know whether it's actually going to come, though, because Kingzone can just wait for super minions. They can wait for Baron again. 13 seconds until the purple worm comes back up, and with all of these supers heading towards only one singular Nexus turret, there's no way that they can contest this.
It's also the right move from Kingzone because their siege is quite poor, and as you siege to a defender's advantage like the Nexus, you're going to get hit by 4 or 5 men.
Whoa! Okay, Rascal dives on forward. That's 2 already dead as Showmaker. They're going to wait for the ultimate and then take him down. No, Rascal a little bit too early there on that one as Cuz dives in. He is able to take down the cow and stays alive against Nuclear, who's not going to be so lucky. They obliterate DAMWON, and they don't want a Baron, they want a Nexus, and they want their 3rd one in a row to finish this series.
Kingzone DragonX ending the game. The 3-0 means the 7-0 since the regular season started. Kingzone have grown up, and now SK Telecom T1 should have a real challenge on their hands.
Yep, and since round 2 started, they've lost 3 maps, I believe. Just absolute, utter dominance from this squad. It's going to continue moving into their next round of the gauntlet, but it's going to be a much more difficult opposite game. It's so fun to watch, this Kingzone team.
We lost a lot of our duos. We still pour one out for Prey and Gorilla and Bang and Wolf. But isn't it cool that our 3 remaining teams, Teddy Mata, so Def and Tucson versus Teddy and Mata, great synergy between both has developed over the course of a regular season.
Absolutely.
That's going to be hype because it's Def and Mata facing off. And then you have Viper and Lehens with that quirky duo that could do anything on their day. They're watching these AP bot laners and saying, wait, Vladimir can be a bot laner. And
yeah, pretty sure we can do that.
About other things, and we actually have 3 fun, competitive duos to talk about, but the first matchup is the most hype one. It's got the narrative. Deft and Tucson versus Teddy and Mata is going to be just a lot of fun.
And then we've got Pawn versus Faker in that mid lane again as well, Papa Smithy. The mid lane, as far as our top 3 teams here in the gauntlet, is going to be really fun to watch. Because what does Pawn do up against Faker? We don't even know. What spicy sauce does he have available for us this time?
And does Rascal have a way to undo his opponent?
Yeah, the battle of the Kingzoners.
Remember that SKT is the only team to easily beat Kingzone in the second round robin. That 8-1, the 1 is SKT. And we just had a matchup that went to the favorites. The 4-0 team became the 7-0 team as DAMWON just couldn't get a win over Kingzone. So now, is it going to be that conventional logic that SKT fans will look back and say, but we beat them so easily? Is that the Kingzone of today, or was that the Kingzone of then? Is the question that needs to be answered.
Well, I feel like with the momentum after this game, I think if it was a 5-game series, it was a nail-biter today, I think you'd be saying that SKT are going to easily take this. But after this performance from Kingzone, I don't think there's any team that should be able to comfortably beat a squad that's doing this to a good team.
Very Smeb-esque, and that is, of course, sadly a historical comment rather than a recent one. Rascal does it better than Smeb's done it this season on the Cannon, and very easy closeout. So hard to play against a Cannon you don't know about. There's Nuclear's health bar. 25 Magi stacks later, a celebration for Lissandra.
Yeah, and it's Spawn having a brilliant performance on the Lissandra. He makes all of these really common picks in the mid lane still look like they have added nuance somehow, just because his play style is so insane. It's so fun to watch. He really is just a joy.
Who are we not taking our hats off to? Everyone on the side of Kingzone had a great game, a great series. There were no passengers. Again, the offseason left them without a recognized starting top laner and jungler at minimum, and then Pawn, who had been doing well in solo queue. It was so easy to be glass half empty on Kingzone, but they've been the rich man's expectations. Coming together as the season's gone on, they've really benefited from the journey of 18 best-of-3s, making their way to their first best-of-5. It's going to be a highlight reel of good plays. Sadly, none for DAMWON outside of a Noble Cow, who did his very darndest.
Yeah, and also, like, if you go back to the old storyline of Kingzone in 2019, it was all of these highlights would have been Deft and Tucson just smashing people by themselves, and then the rest of the map not necessarily performing so well. This was a beautifully orchestrated dance from Kingzone where all 5 members were highlight plays in unto themselves, and that's what good League of Legends looks like, and that's not what we were expecting. That's why so many people were sleeping on, were not ready to believe in Kingzone.
Shout out to DAMWON Gaming for a season that now ends today. They have been able to put together the young players, and a 4th place finish is by no means an indictment. I think it's a very well-deserved 4th place finish. Remember, they will represent Korea at Rift Rivals if the format stays the same. They have circuit points towards Worlds. They are going to be better for the run as well. A very young squad. So finishing 4th and being clearly not on the same level as Kingzone is by no means a disappointment. DAMWON have a lot to build upon when we see them again in summer season.
And if you lose to a team playing like this, you don't feel bad. This is not like there are obvious holes that you should
probably today you feel bad.
Oh yes, no, but you don't feel like you're a failure, like the season hasn't worked, like, because this is a Kingzone that were just straight up better, and they were playing beautiful League of Legends.
Hopefully, like professional sportsmen around the world, DAMWON today, you lick your wounds and say, damn, we got slammed. But in a week's time, and you've got some weeks now for an off-season, you sit back and say, we could be as good as them if we work for it. And DAMWON Gaming, we talked about the team without a recognized ceiling. We see the floor of them today. We've still not seen the ceiling, and if you want to be glass half full, that ceiling could still be very impressive in the future.
Yeah, the potential for this squad is certainly sky high. And we're only halfway through the year, still the summer season left to go, and DAMWON are in great standing. Of course, not needing to worry like Jinair and KT will, as will be coming up. The promotion matches, find out exactly who's going to be there in summer. 27.3 thousand damage is pretty good for a Lucian that went for more of a 3-item spike build.
2.5-hour series as well.
Yeah.
Kingzone DragonX just far too good. We're going to get the MVP. Surely Pawn has the argument here, or maybe we'll be sharing it around. Wait and see what the decision is. We get no votes over here.
Tucson as well. I mean, played very, very well on the Galio. Oh, he played so well.
I know. He was actually really good.
When you talk about like the opposition team and like giving them the MVP, it's almost like that joke of like, oh, they played so badly. But no, Hoyt just played so well.
Well, what can you do?
Oh, so sad.
A noble cow, sadly.
Yeah, not this time. However, Hoyt showing that he can stand up in a best of 5 where he needs to. Managed to get out of that dive on the bottom side of the map. Rascal's going to pick it up, and I actually understand this one. I wasn't thinking about it top of my head, but he had some fantastic cannon engages, and once again, it's another performance from Rascal on another champion that he's looked so good on this season.
We got a series where, you know, you would have had 5 different chances of people you could have considered in every game, right? It feels like all 15 permutations of the 5 in game 1, game 2, and game 3 could have gone really anywhere. So our first choice might not be reflected, but it's still well-deserved. It's someone who has really built an impressive resume in just a single split of being a starter. Really nice AP cannon ult to end things, and that just means that Mina gets more happy, smiling faces. Not Nayeon, sadly. He's smiling somewhere else.
He's definitely smiling, though. Guaranteed. We are going to go to that interview very, very quickly, and we're going to have 3 separate Kingzone players, so let's throw it over to Ji-sun for some translation.
Yes, guys, we're going to be hearing from all the 5 players that played for Kingzone today. It's a full squad of Kingzone on the MVP interview stage. It was a perfect game, 3-0 score. Rascal, did you expect this? Nope. What was your guess for today's series? Well, I don't know about other players, but this is my first experience for best of 5, and I was a bit nervous, so I didn't expect 3-0. Well, I was quite confident they were gonna win, but I didn't expect this 3-0 victory. So you were the only top laner in your team without any subs. So how was this split for you? This was my first experience as a starting player. It was tougher than I expected. And I missed Khan. You're going to be seeing him in the next round, so... Well, I'll ask you for a message for him later. So, you are facing up against Noguri today. And you know, Noguri was one of the most key players, so how was your laning phase? He dodges everything, he lands everything. I think he's really good. But you were better? Well, I was good, but I mean, Noguri, he is indeed a good player. And just like you just said, speaking of Khan, we'll be facing him this Sunday, play of round 2. Would you send him a message? I've been with you together for like 2 years, so I missed you, you know? It was really lonely, I was really having a hard time, but having a experience of a full-time player as a starting member for a split, I have grown a lot. So I'm really confident I'm going to take him down, and also SK Telecom. Let's move on to Cuz. Well, moving on to round 2, Cuz you are the core of improved performance of the players in the top side. Well, I did improve, but yes, Rascal and Pawn also improved a lot, so I'm really satisfied. And you have the most MVP points in the second round robin, 600 points. And how was today's series? I think you guys brought up a lot of unexpected drafts. Especially Ornn and Nocturne composition was really awesome. Game 1, the Nocturne Ornn combo, I think we're really confident with it. And we are still have a lot of picks in our pockets. So I think it was all
네,
good.
알겠습니다. 자, 1세트 바텀에서 정말 멋진 장면 만들어낸 그거 준비를 해봤습니다.
So we have a highlight here. Is team fight in the bot side.
공이 뭐 돌아오자마자 바로 달려오는 장면.
As soon as
이때 판단이 어떻게
your ultimate was on, you just went in.
아무래도 상대방 제이스가 가장
Well,
좀 포인트라서
well, Jace was the most significant player in their team, so we did our best to kind of stop him scaling. Whose call was that? Yeah, I was counting for my ultimate cooldown, and also our mid and top bot laner saying that they're coming for a backup, so we had a really good communication, so we were able to pick up the good results.
자, 이제 폰 선수 얘기 나눠볼게요.
Let's move on to
폰
Pon.
선수 요즘 가장 화제가 되고 있는 게 챔프 포기예요.
Well, you know, there are a lot of hypes around your champion pool. Even today,
SKT전에서도 더 보여줄 게 남아
do we have
있나요?
something to show more in the upcoming SKT series?
뭐 챔피언은 많지만 이제
Well, I have a lot of champions in my pocket.
꺼낼 생각이에요.
Well, so I'll have to see the situation.
다양한 챔피언 사용하셨는데 그 중에서 가장
So
선호하는
then,
팀은 뭔가요?
what's your favorite one?
르블랑을 제일
LeBlanc?
좋아하는
It's my favorite champion, and I'm really confident with it.
항상 언제든지 꺼낼 수 있는
LeBlanc,
팀이
I can.
아니라서 상황
It's
보고
actually, but
그
demands
뽑고
a
있어요.
certain situation,
네,
so
르블랑도
I'll
계속
have to wait and
기대해보도록
see.
하겠습니다. 인터뷰에서 이런 얘기가 나왔어요.
And
대형 신인으로 불리려면
There,
나를
you just
넘어서야
mentioned
한다.
that rookies
오늘
have to
3대
prove
0으로
their value
완벽하게
by
이기셨는데요.
overcoming
잘
Pon.
증명했다고 생각을 하시나요?
So how was today's game?
신인 선수들이 많이 나오는데
So there are a lot of rookie players,
이제
but
베테랑 미드 선수들
you know there are a lot of veteran mid players as well.
떠난 선수들 많고 한데
Some of them left here too.
누구냐
Well, me,
미드에 오래된 선수가 페이커 선수랑
Baker,
또 등등
and
있으신데
so on,
이제
etc.
이제 아무래도 룰루프
So,
우승자는
I mean,
저랑
we are
페이커
the
선수니까
me and Baker are the world's winner, right?
한
So,
번씩은 이겨야 되지 않나.
well, if they want to be a big
네,
player, they have to take me or either me or Faker down. And just like you just mentioned, Faker, you know, we'll be looking forward to see you versus Faker, the most historic rival in LCK.
그런 식으로 해서
Well, I had a lot of gap years, you know, I played 1 year and had a 1 year off, so my career is a bit everywhere, but
이기고
so I did take him down in the MSI 2015, but except that my match history is not that good. But you know, playoff is what matters, so I'm gonna really concentrate and I'm gonna make him die or make my match record look good.
앞으로도 응원하겠습니다. 자, 이제 데프트 선수 얘기 나눠볼게요.
Let's move on
정말
to
멀리
depth.
있어서 네, 얼굴이 잘
You're really
안
far away
보이는데요.
from me. I can't really see you. Oh, thank you.
담원전에서 바텀 싸움 정말 중요하다.
Well, a lot of people have been saying that the bot laner will be the most decisive player. So how are you satisfied with your performance today? Well, game 1, I think we were in a big lead, but I did get solo killed once. So except that, I'm satisfied.
데프트 선수 특히 오늘 경기에서 와 원딜들의
Especially,
로망이다. 정말 플레이 완벽하다
I
이런
think
얘기가
your
나오고 있어요.
performance was
그런
so
점에 대해서는
clean and on
어떻게
point.
생각하시나요? 좀 동의하시나요?
Do you
나
agree
로망
with
맞다.
that? Or you're the role model of AD carry?
요즘에 다들 잘하셔서
I mean, everyone is so good right now.
팀원들이 잘
I think
지켜주면은
if your teammates protect you well, you look
네.
good.
데프트 선수의 플레이에서 가장 신경 쓰는 점이 어떤
What's the
점인가요?
most important play as an AD carry player?
아무래도 네, 라인전을 제일 신경을 쓰죠.
I think laning phase
네, 알겠습니다.
matters the
데프트 선수
most.
이번 스프링 돌아보면요. 데뷔 6주년 또
So in
300점까지
retrospect,
기록을 하셨어요.
you have made a lot of records. You had the
어떠신가요? 돌아보니까?
6-year anniversary and you had the 300 matches in LCK. So how was this split for you?
해보고 했는데 그런 것보다는
Well, I did, you know, hit the 1,000 kill in LCK, but you know, I want to say that there was really low expectation on our team, but right now it has changed a lot and our performance did improve a lot, so I'm really happy with that.
엄청나고요. 데프트 선수는 꾸준히 잘 해주고 계십니다. 다음 SKT전
And your
마타와의
next
바텀
opponent
라인전을
will be SK
기다리고
Telecom,
있는데
and you'll be seeing Mara in bot lane. We'd like to send him a message.
저번에 마지막
But last time,
좀
well,
기억이 있는데
I have some bad memories, you know, we lost.
기억을
But
심어줄 수 있도록
I'm gonna give it back to him.
네, 데프트 선수가 우리 킹존에게 좋은 기억 남겨주실 거라고 믿습니다. 자, 그리고 마지막으로 투신 선수
Lastly,
안녕하세요.
Hello. Hi.
네, 아까 인사드리고 너무 오랜만에 뵙는 것 같아요. 자, 투신 선수도 오늘
투신.
데프트 선수와의 합 정말 좋았는데요.
Your teamwork with depth was really
돌아보면 어떠신가요?
awesome.
만족할
So,
만한
are you
경기였나요?
satisfied with your performance today?
일단 세 판 다 좀 챔피언을 다 각기 다른 챔피언
Well, I
써서
played all
저는 하루
different
동안
champions
재밌었던
for
그랬던
3
것
games,
같아요.
so it
네,
was
특히 투신
indeed
선수의
a very fun
파이크가
fun day for me.
레드라이프의 극찬이 이어졌어요.
Especially your pipe.
오늘
MetLife
픽한
was
계기가
really
궁금해요.
amazed
굉장히
by your
중요한
hooks.
픽이잖아요.
So how were you
그냥
able to come up with that pick?
어떻게 그냥 계속 뭐
Well, Def
이제
actually
챔프를 찾다
said
보니까
we were looking for some
좋은
champions to
챔프가
use,
없을까 하다가 이렇게
and we thought
찾아낸
pipe was
케이스
a
중
bit
하나고요. 유명한
viable.
챔프들 좀 또 여러 개가 있는데 그
Well,
중
it
하나였던
is one of the
것 같아요.
viable picks.
네, 상대가
And
LCK
we
텐트를
still
활용을
have some
정말
more.
잘하기 때문에 그에 대해서 좀 대비를 했던
Were you
편인가요?
preparing something
네, 어느 정도는
up against their Ashe and
맞췄던
Tomkins
것 같아요.
composition?
야,
Yes,
정말
it was
잘 맞아
one of the
떨어졌다고
counter
생각을
picks.
합니다. 투신 선수에게 이것 꼭 물어보고 싶어요.
And I have
오늘
this question
킹존이
for
3대
you.
0으로 완벽하게
You had
가져갔는데
3-0
오늘은 누가
victory.
제일
So
섹시했다고
who was the
생각하시나요?
most sexy player in Kingzone?
일단
First of all,
플레이적으로는 가장 이제
in terms of
우찬이가
performance,
제일
I think Cuz,
섹시했다고 생각하고요.
he was the most sexy player.
그 다음번에
Besides that,
생각했을 때 혁규가 좀
maybe
아쉽게
Dev?
덜 섹시하지 않았나
He was
싶습니다.
less sexy.
야, 투신 선수가 커즈 선수 꼽아 주셨습니다.
Cuz you were the most sexy
혁규.
player according to the
네, 우찬이.
이렇게
투신?
두 분 꼽아 주셨는데요. 어떠신가요?
other
만족하시나요?
comments about that.
정말 정말 고맙고
I'm really
정익이
thankful.
형도
Tusin,
정말 항상 느끼는 건데
I always
정말
thought
섹시한
that
것
you were sexy too.
정말 섹시한 킹존인데요.
This
오늘
is
가장
indeed a sexy
섹시하다고
team.
꼽아 주셨으니까 다음 경기 가고 커즈
Same.
선수에게
Cuz,
들어볼게요.
as the most sexy player in Kingzone, how are we going to prepare for your upcoming series?
있는데 저희
So for the SK
내일
Telecom matchup,
연습하고 바로
we're
붙게
going to
될 건데
practice really hard tomorrow, and we'll be
더
seeing them this
열심히
Sunday.
준비하고 컨디션 관리도 잘
So
해서
we're going to prepare
SK
really hard,
팀도
and you know,
오늘 했던 것처럼
just like we did
잘
today, I hope we can just
열심히
do well.
하겠습니다.
네,
do our
커즈
best.
선수의 각오 들어봤고요. 조금은 덜 섹시하지만
Well,
데프트 선수의
too,
각오도
the last
들어볼게요.
sexy player, Deft. How are we going to prepare for the SKT series? Well, next time,
섹시한 선수가
I'll try to be the most sexy player in my team. I'll do my
네,
best.
다음에도
Thank
이렇게
you.
만나서 투신 선수에게 또 여쭤보고 싶습니다.
I want to
네,
see you guys
킹존
once
선수
again
오늘
to
승리
hear the
다시
sexy
한번
rankings of
축하드립니다. 고생
Kingzone
많으셨습니다.
in our upcoming series as well.
네,
Thank you very much
인터뷰
for this
여기서
interview, and
마칠게요.
I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
That was a really sexy interview, G-Sun. Thank you so much for the translation. And look, sexy team, sexy players, sexy draft.
It was a
sexy gameplay. It's a sexy day
match
today.
day, yeah. That's the thing, is how do you even choose the sexiest player? They were all
So
hot
sexy.
today. We were talking about the NBA Jam for Deft in one game.
Yeah.
I think they were all on fire this series. So, yep, I understand. We said sexy a lot. Sexy came up on the interview. We're bringing sexy back as Kingzone DragonX have made it a very sexy semi-final. It will be not the two of us, but in fact, we will get the long-awaited return of LS and Valdez.
Exactly.
We'll be bringing you SK Telecom versus Kingzone, and if SKT aren't sexy, who's to say who might face Griffin in the final?
Exactly right. We might get that interview once again to see definitively what the sexy
Could it be more
rankings are.
sexy, though?
I don't know. Look, if they're going to 3-0 SKT, they're going to have to play a little bit more sexy than that.
Real
Not going to lie.
sexy.
That'll be super sexy. Thankfully, we'll be at home.
Yeah.
We just get to enjoy the sexiness that's going to ensue. And Valdez and LS will bring that to you on Sunday in 2 days' time. May actually be the best match of the playoffs. It is going to be a giant one in Kingzone versus SKT.
We don't know where Griffin is at.
Yeah.
We know that SKT has been really good, and we know that Kingzone is real sexy right now. So I think that's a fair thing to say, even though we could definitely see a 5-game series next Saturday.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to like about now and a lot to like about the future.
That's exactly right. And we don't even need to wait that long. It will be only 2 days. Just find something to do on Saturday and then come back, and we will have that best of 5 on Sunday. But for now, good night.